Hey everyone, we're gathered here today for yet another debate. And the motion for today's debate is old is gold. And I am a support of the motion. So the other day I went to Panjam and this just hit me instantly when I heard the topic. Uh, and I was with my parents and we were passing by the street and my mom instantly told me to stop. And she was like, stop the car, we have to wait here. And there was a bakery right opposite the street. That bakery has been standing there for about 50 plus years, I believe. And there's something about these old bakeries or restaurants and these old places that you've known for a very long time. They create a sense of quality and durability, and you have this trust with these people that you are 100% sure that that bakery or that place uh, will have the thing that you want exactly the way you want it. And at some point these places become a part of your culture, it becomes a part of the people have a very deep connection with these places. And I'm sure even you have had this, your parents, or you might have had this one place where that you know and you for a very long time, and you're 100% sure that you'll get something good there. So all of these places are old, and with time or with age comes the quality of perfecting the art that you're uh, uh, doing. So with this, I'd like to state a few points why I feel old is definitely gold. First is old things are built to last. I'll give you another example of my house itself. We have this one fan in our kitchen, and it's by Orient, if I'm not wrong. And I have not seen any other fan and any other ceiling fan in our kitchen like for my entire lifetime. That has been the only fan that I've seen. So I one day I just casually asked my mom, why is this, like, why have we not changed the fan and something? Just casually asked. And she was like, she bought this fan before I was born, and the fan works so good till date, and it requires very little maintenance to no maintenance at all. So with this, you can see where I'm going, right? Old things were built to last. There's this quality about old things. The material that they used, it was just good. It just did not fail you. But that's just not the case with a lot of new technologies. Most of the companies are focused towards making a profit, and I mean that is the goal of your business, right? But with that, there is a definite deterioration in the quality that of the products that you see. Like, for example, groceries have started limiting the amount of quantity you get in jars, like jams and stuff. Give me a second, my battery. Yeah, so groceries have started limiting the quantity that you get in jars. And another very good example would be public infrastructure. If you see, the Portuguese have left us for a very long time, right? But the architecture, the buildings that they have built in Goa, they're still standing strong, and they still tell a tale about how dedicated they were at their infrastructure. And believe me or not, no matter what they have done in Goa and the hardships that Goans have faced, there's something about their architecture. It's just beautiful. It just stands till date, and it just has a very good vibe. And that is just the thing about old architecture. Then another point would be, not all old things deteriorate in value. A lot of old things also increase in value. For example, vintage cars or old furnitures, all of those things are old, and you'll find thousands of people that would go crazy over some sort of card or some car that they really wanted, and that's a vintage car, and they paid millions for that car or that piece of thing. And that's why this is another way in support of why old things are gold. A third point would be repairability. And this I have seen, especially in the tech field. A lot of devices moved, uh, have decreased in their repairability score, if you put it that way. For example, old phones used to have this battery that we could remove. Something used to happen to the phone, we could just pop off the battery and plug in a new one, or that would just be our way of hard resetting it. But now, since your batteries have become the technology that they use for batteries have improved, and that's why you cannot really make the battery removable. Those are all the reasons, but there was just something about the repairability that old tech had that new tech just does not have. Another thing would be innovation. If you look at 2016 or like 2014, that whole era of tech and smartphone, there was just so much innovation happening, and you would see different form factors of phone. But now, after some time, I just feel like all of your tech devices have reached a saturation point where you no longer need a new form factor, but that still takes away the soul that a lot of these old tech products had. And lastly, I'm sure most of you must have watched Tom and Jerry. That was a very old cartoon, and I just feel like all of these old cartoons had this vibe, had this soul about them. I could be biased because perhaps I watched them when I was old, and then I could have that bias. But I just feel like the current cartoons, all of these 3D cartoons that you make, they're just a lot of they don't have that vibe that old cartoons had. And I just feel like most of the modern kids and your iPad generation is just exposed to a lot of brain rot. So I feel all of these old cartoons had another thing about these old cartoons is they had a story and they had a moral to them, and something about them just felt like they had a deeper meaning that one what the cartoonist intended. And that's just not the case with new shows or cartoons. And with these 5 points, I rest my case. Over to you, Kim.
Yes. Old is gold. When I think about old is gold, I take it in a perspective of time and also the things. So today I'll be speaking why I feel old is not gold, and I believe that the present, whatever we are having, is gold, is the golden time. Okay, I have around 5 points to state why I feel so. And firstly, I would like to state about medications. The old medications weren't really supportive, and like we have very good medications right now. Like there is cure for polios, there's cure for leprosy. There's cure for a lot of diseases, which sorry, which weren't even present long before. Like curing cancers might not have been possible in a very old time, but it is possible right now. My next point would be about the less open-mindedness. For example, in the olden times, there used to be a lot of malpractices like sati, female feticides. I'm not saying female fetic. It was in a major quantity as compared to now. Then I would also like to focus on labor markets like black markets and child labors, which was on a very massive rise in the olden times and not now. My next point, when I'm talking about such a regressive mindset, I would also like to focus on one mindset that people had is crossing the sea. They used to consider it as kala pani, and when you cross the sea, you lose your religion or lose your. They used to believe that you lose your character, and but nowadays we have a very good transport. We can travel to any parts of the world, and the transport has become basically very clear. So this is another for the transport itself. I strongly believe that old is not gold and the present time is the best time for that. My next point would be about technology. Uh, the current technology is very far better than the olden ones, and there is no denial for it. And the current technology is also very well optimized. Like before, used to have a computer as equivalent to a room, but now we have a small computer. We have actually a computers in our pockets, which is our phone. And so this is another reason why I strongly believe that old is not gold. Whereas I also feel that olden technologies are very deprecated at times, and like we they don't even match to the current usage. If I have to end my, I would like to end my today's talk by stating the constitutional right which we are having right now, and which were run present at the olden times, and thus I feel old is not gold, gold, and current whatever we are having in the present, we have a very easier, safer life, and we can mold the world easily the way we want, and thus I feel the present is more golden to us than the old, and I rest my case. Yes, Nitish. Rebuttal phase.
Yes. Could we take a minute
Yeah,
to
yeah,
go
sure.
over
Yeah,
our points?
yeah.
Yes, that's fine.
Can we start, Diptesh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can.
Would you like to start with the question?
Sure. You mentioned some really good points. I liked how you took uh, a different perspective to old and thought about it in terms of time
Time.
and not just things. But I'd actually like to come back to my point about vintage cars and all of your old products that really did not deteriorate over time. Why do you think a lot of people still buy it at a very high price, like at auctions and stuff? Don't you think that proves that some of these old things are gold? Like I'd like to talk about it in terms of old things. Don't you think old is gold, and that's why people buy it at a very high cost?
Yes, I would agree to you at a point that some old things are going for a very large auctions, but then if I have to think about a population, I think a very less people will be involved in this activity. Like people, very few who are very wealthy and for whom it is just a game for having old things will be doing the activity, and the common people won't even bother much. For them, whatever is more convenient is more better, and thus I feel it is not yet it is very unrealistic to call it gold or a better alternative.
Okay. Also, there has been in recent uh, a few months, I think, there have been rescreenings of a lot of old movies, right?
Hmm.
And a lot of people, even new people, go to watch it. So, don't you think these old movies captured a piece of history and something that you would want to see again? And don't you think that is the case with a lot of these old movies, and that's why something about them is like gold. It's precious. You're not going to get that same time again, right? If you talk about it in terms of time, and being able to witness like a sliver from that time is gold, right? Don't you think? And that's why a lot of people go to watch it again.
Yes, I would agree to that at certain level, that art is like olden art is very much well celebrated, and like we still have the gist of it. But then considering current time, I think nullifying the current present scenario is not even worth, like currently we have social media and other stuffs, so the hype increases more about the movies, or the advertisement increases, and that is how we get more people watching them. And I would really agree to the fact that the artistic in art or the historical point of view, the olden times are olden stories were really good. But the way, like, a lot of things have been better in the current scenario, if we even forget about the like storyline, then the cinematography and all the other stuffs are improved. And I don't think if we re-release any black and white movie and at the current theater, it will have that much hype. So with that consideration, I would like to say that yes, maybe for the historical point of view or any nostalgic point of view, people feel a connect, but otherwise I would not really agree to that. uh,
Okay. Also, another thing would be you mentioned a lot of medications and a lot of technology that is better now. Don't you think a lot of this is still based on your old technology innovations? And something about this just feels like you're trying to uh, wrap on the old technology, and the old technology is still the core at all of this.
okay, this makes me realize about invention and innovation, like whereas invention, although the first credit always stays to the old person, to the first person who started from 0 to 1. But currently I think we can't be really using the old technologies. Like it's very impossible for me to carry a room big computer everywhere I go. And I think we have to innovate, we have to find an optimized way, and it also helps in the environment and other concerns. So currently, whatever state we are at the golden state, although that so this makes my belief more stronger.
Cool. You also mentioned social media, right? So just this one last.
Mhm.
Don't you think social media has led to a lot of uh, brain rot and uh, a lot of the younger generation spending way too much time than you actually require on social media, not doing productive stuff, but just scrolling. Don't you think that is not something that's gold, or it was better before?
Let me have a minute of thought for this.
Sure.
I would say that yes, social media has given a lot of brain rots, but we can't be like it also generates a lot of income to many people. Like many, there are many influencers out there who earns a lot from that, and it is always a good practice to have a limit for ourselves. We can't blame the current present time for that. We have to have some limits to ourselves, and like make the best use of it. Like for example, as I mentioned that there are many people who are earning money. I think that is one of the most quickest, and one of I would not say it is easiest, but comparatively where there were like labors, child labors in the olden time, it wasn't even protected by your rights. Like you could have been mistreated very rigorously. I think consider to that, if, social media has also given up a lot of opportunities, and we should embrace them rather than having the ill, rather than focusing on just the ill negative impacts.
Yeah, that sounds good. That was all from my side.
Yes. Uh, Diptesh, don't you think the practices like sati and which used to be present long back is abolished right now? Don't you think for such ill practices, old time wasn't good? And like there were so many wars, and you could be like you. It is very like you are not even sure that you'll have some safety. Like you could be killed or you could be hurt at any time. Don't you feel that is true?
Yes, I absolutely believe that there were a lot of practices, not just some, a lot of practices in the olden time that were extremely bad. But I don't think we should be oblivious to the fact. I mean, we just spoke about social media, right? I don't think we should deny that every era or every time, be it new or old, has its own fair share of things that are not great, right? If you talk about social media, I can list a lot of benefits about social media. You did just now, but at the same time, there's a lot of harm that is still caused by social media, and that's why I feel no generation is 100% gold, but there's a lot of things that new and old generations have that could be considered as gold. And with that, yeah,
If we okay, if we don't even think about generation, and if we think about ourselves, what do you think is the best time, the present or the past? Will you like to blame yourself for your past deeds, or be stuck with some memories of past, or would you like to focus on your present? What do you think is correct?
I think that's a very good question. And if you ask me, uh, I think if I were put in the past, say some random year, that that would still be my present year, and I would still enjoy being in that year. If I actually recently saw this post on Twitter, and this was some bill that a person posted about some restaurant that he visited, and his total bill was just 42 rupees. Considering as compared to that, as comparing to now, that would be nothing. And you could talk about inflation and stuff, but I still feel like every generation will have its own fair share of benefits that I would still enjoy, no matter what generation I am, or no matter what time I am in, be it old or new.
Okay, my last question to you, Ditesh, is about the ease. Like our life is much more easier right now. Don't you feel that? Like we can travel anywhere we want. We can like order anything we want. We can eat anything we want. Don't you think we are like life is much more easier?
Yes, I actually agree to that. I like the convenience that modern technology provides, but you come to a realization of this convenience because you see the option in front of you, right? But as compared to the olden times,
Nice,
a
yeah.
lot of people didn't really know something like this existed, so there was nothing to make a comparison with. So what you had was considered the most efficient way. So I think it's a lot about perspective. Like 5 years down the line, our current new stuff would still be considered uh, as old, right? Because technology is innovating so fast. So I think not having something to compare with, which it was in the case of olden times, was the reason why olden times were considered as convenient for them,
Yeah.
and that's
Can we go to the next phase? Feedback phase?
yes.
Yes, feedback. Firstly, we
Eh,
had so different point of views. Like you were mentioning more
yeah, I
about
actually
things,
liked it.
and I was mentioning more about time. And yes, I have some feedback for you. I really liked how you tried to do some personalized thing with the story at the start. I really appreciate you for that. And like we talked in the last debate over the same thing, and you really took it well. Next is about the different perspective. Yes, it was nice having different perspective. I liked your points about old architecture and all. It was really a good point. Okay, one negative feedback I have for you is don't end with a bias topic, theme or bias point. Like the last point that you mentioned was a bias point about what was that point? I don't really remember, but
It was about cartoons.
it was about cartoons. Yes, don't end with a bias point. End with a very like strong point. Like your last point should not leave end with a confusion, basically.
Got
Yeah,
yeah,
like it is a saying that if you have 4 points, your first and the last point both should be very strong point. Between points you could keep anything, but start good and end well.
that's it. I'll take that. Yeah,
uh, okay, I think you should have used you should have spoken a lot on environment. Like old environment was a very nice time, like air pollution, there was no pollution and all, but we'll cover it when we are thinking from other perspective. I took two words from you today that I never used, which is sliver and oblivious. Thanks for adding it to my vocabulary. What does that mean,
yeah.
Diptesh?
Sliver is like a tiny piece. Like if I look at the whole thing as a pie, like
Hmm.
as a circle, a sliver would be a very thin section of it.
Yeah.
So that would be a sliver. And oblivious is like you not caring about something existing. So I'm oblivious to the fact that you were present in this room,
uh,
something like that.
uh.
So that is
Do you read
oblivious.
a lot, Diptesh? Do you read a lot of books?
Not physical books, but I do read some articles online, and that
Yes, very nice, very nice, Nitish. From my side, I think I ran a little fast after I realized that our points were not matching really. Like we had different concepts, so I was like, when it is not matching, so I went a little fast. I did not elaborate any points like in depth, but I think that is a wrong thing. Like I should have spoken much, irrespective of your side. Like whatever points I had, I should have like elaborated just to present my side, my perspective, and I should not have been influenced like thinking that we both went on the different line. But overall I really liked how we did today, like different perspective, but at the rebuttal phase we tried to match it up. Yeah.
yeah, I liked it too, and I liked how we both took like a. You were talking about it in terms of time, and I really did not see that coming, and it was actually fair, but I took it in terms of things, and it was good. Like it was unexpected.
uh, Also some of your answers were really very good. Like I asked you about then you said that it is about the comparison factor. I really like that answer very much. Like if you go in the future, this time would be also very irrelevant. So that was really nice, Diptej. And I also liked how you handled that question. Like I purposely tried to put you into that thing, saying that do you not believe staying in present is much more mindful than thinking or regretting about past? And then you came up with a very good answer. I really like that. For your social
Yes.
media answer, I don't know why I took a lot of time. I was thinking like what was there in the olden time. I was also thinking about some things like what you started with, and I was some creating some things in my mind. But then I was like, let me just say whatever I had.
Yeah, social media is not a very good point from my side too, because like you can, right, social media and the internet has contributed a lot of good things too, right?
Yes.
So I was like, oh no, I threw that off. But yeah, we both handled it nice.
Uh, yeah. Do you have any feedbacks, Diptesh?
No, that's it from my side.
Yes. Yes. Uh, okay. Group discussion. What do you think? Which time was good, old or new?
Okay, I do consider the present better just because it gives me the new things and the technology that I can use. I mean, we are having this meet just because of technology, right?
Hmm.
But I think I haven't Okay, I think something about the old time was good too. Like if you talk about it in terms of jobs, right? It was I wouldn't say easier, but a lot more straightforward to get a job,
Mm.
and that would get a lot of stress off of your mind. I'm not saying it's not straightforward now, uh, but just something about that time, the way my parents describe it to me, it just feels good. So that is something.
Yes.
I would still prefer the current time because there's no way I can go to the past. So
Yeah.
current.
I just forgot we didn't do the phase of thinking from other perspective. Shall we do that first?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes. Shall we discuss, Diptesh?
Yes,
Yes. Would you like to go ahead?
sure. So a lot of the points that came to my mind were very repetitive. That those were always mentioned, but I got two strong points to support. Uh, the fact that new is better than old. Wait, oh yeah, old is not always cold.
Yes.
The first point would the first point would be knowledge, right? If you talk about knowledge, knowledge always keeps compounding. This is something that I've always uh, remembered.
Mm.
With time, you realize two things can happen. You can get to know more about a particular topic, that's more knowledge, or you can also realize that something you believed earlier was wrong, so you try and correct that old thing. So that's why I feel old knowledge is not good, is definitely not old, and new knowledge is definitely better. Like for example, I every book has revisions, right? Where there are typos, there are errors, there are misconceptions that are revised and rewritten.
Yes.
I would not prefer going to the first edition of a book when I know there's like a 20th edition of a book. So that's why I believe new is better.
Yeah.
Another thing would be safety. I believe that newer times have better safety than there was at an older time. I could think of one example. If you talk about the recent iPhone feature where you can message using satellite, that was not present before. I think so. I want to believe that was not present before.
Mm.
If you were lost in a remote area, there would it would be almost impossible to uh, talk to someone.
Yes.
So I think safety wise, the modern times have also become better. Like there's cameras,
Mm.
say some theft happens, you can easily recognize. There's better technology to track someone, which was just not possible with older times. Yeah, these were my 2 points.
Beautiful, Diptesh. Yeah. Uh, For me, from why I support old is gold is firstly because of environment, as I've stated, like all concrete jungle. Then weather now is very good. Olden times weather was really good, and then now there is heat waves, glaciers are melting. Then there is light pollution at night, navigation for animals, and even us. We don't really see stars nowadays, so that is also a thing. So yeah, for all the environmental concerns, I would have just bombarded you with everything if I was speaking from your perspective. Next is about, we mentioned like from the newer generation, we mentioned about a lot of technologies which are lot of things which are there in the newer generation. But then older generation, like things like circus, like now we don't have that many circus. Or the post office post box is like cancelled now recently in India. So that experience of sending letters or using the post services, I think that experience was there in the olden times only, that even we won't get. So there was something special about that. Next, I would have spoken about all the research and inventions. Like most of the inventions were done in the olden generation, and there are very few inventions done nowadays. And like everything, if we go to see, maybe even if I have to say about calculus or computing, binary, everything, most of the inventions were done in the past. My next point would have been about less stress. The life back then was less stressful, I guess, because there was like people were very simple and they did not have much needs and wants, and they were really happy with what they have. And I think that is the whole purpose of life. Should really be happy with whatever the things are. And for like people used to go out to play, not irrespective of age. Then they used to go for hiking, this that, and the amount of time we are getting for ourselves is very less nowadays. So I would have stated that. And I would have ended with stating about endangered species and animals. And recently I came to know that fireflies are getting endangered, and I was so sad for that. And like I almost get very emotional right now. I used to see a tree in front of a house, and it was full of fireflies back then in the rainy days. But now that they are getting almost endangered is making me really very sad. And I think for all these reasons, old is really good. Yeah.
Yeah, lovely points. I liked your last point especially because it's something that a lot of us can relate to. Like
Relate
I,
to, yeah.
even for me, yeah, like even in our colony, I remember when I was small, there used to be a lot of sparrows. But something about them, I don't know, they just vanished. Like I don't see any sparrow now.
Yeah.
So it's really sad to. And so whenever I see a sparrow, I treat it like I've seen some peacock because it's very rare now for me to see it.
Yes,
So
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
that,
Yeah, that is it. That was some points. And yes, I wanted to tell you about also this thing that end with a very strong point, not biased, not any confusion, something which you could, it last point should be like a call to action. It should go along with you.
Yeah.
Okay, yes. Okay, I was about to tell my for group discussion. What do I like more? I think I would choose olden times as compared to newer times. Uh, yes, irrespective of all the easiness the life is right now, I would just love to be at a very isolated, a calm place, very close to environment, and I would really like olden times. Yeah. Uh, what is the next thing? Okay, ChatGPT phase.
Yes. Yeah.
You have any points, Diptej?
Yes.
Yeah.
I like something about this topic, it's like for every uh for every category of a particular object, say, it just applies so differently. And and it's fair in both the cases. Like, for example, I got this one point for why old is considered cold, and it's about literature. All of your Shakespeare, Ramayana, all of that was written in the older time, and that is old. And I was just beautifully written, right? The whole storyline, everything was beautiful. Even old music, if you talk about,
Yes.
all of that was had that whole vibe to it. So this is one point I got for old is gold. But at the same time, for uh, why new is also better. When it comes to computers and technology, old was definitely not. Uh, how do I say? I don't want to offend a whole group of people, uh, but s- if you talk about all these batch systems, I think they were called, right. I don't remember, but you had to feed some tasks to it,
Mhm.
and then you had to wait for some time, and then the person operating the machine would give you the result of it. But now you can just compile everything at the click of a button,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So it's definitely better in terms of technology as a whole.
Yeah. In terms of technology, yes.
Those one two points.
Yes. Any other points?
Nah, those are the 2 points I got.
Yeah.
I'm still looking, but
Okay.
you can go ahead actually.
Yeah. Actually, even I don't have much points like.
Hmm. Like, I got one more point for why old is cold. It's like older remedies, home remedies, something that your grandma probably kept. All of your grandma's recipes. Oh, there's a thing, right, that they say grandma's recipes never fail.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so that is again old.
Old. Old.
Something about that.
Yes.
Yeah. There was a lot of emotion and thought poured into these old things.
Hmm.
So that's why, yeah. Again, for new, it's the same points: faster communication, better travel, better health access.
Hmm.
Yep, same points.
Yes. Yeah, even I don't really have any new points from ChatGPT today. And yeah, we did a good job with this. Like we impromptu also we tried to get maximum of it and I really liked it.
Yes.
One I will take one perspective from you today. Like I really liked how you answered that thing. Like we had some things to compare, and if we in the olden times we don't really have a lot of things to compare. And yes, that is something which will stay with me. It is a very good perspective. I would say
Yeah.
yes. Yeah. Do you have anything to add, Diptej, or can we end the meet?
Yeah, that's it from my side.
Yes. Yes, that's it from my side too, and we'll meet tomorrow. Tomorrow you're there, right?
Yes.
Yes. Tomorrow mostly
Yes, yes, I'm there.
we'll do at 2:30 only. We'll do a research topic tomorrow.
Okay, works. Since it's research, if you want to do it a little earlier, then let me know. I'm there. Say to like today.
Oh,
If you
okay.
want to do it a little earlier, I'm there.
Yes, yes, yes. Cool. Cool. Okay. Chalo.
Okay.
Bye,
Works.
Diptesh. Take care.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Yes.